In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. The parable that Jesus tells his disciples in today's gospel, it gets at the very heart of the Christian message. And once we grasp that message, we open our hearts to be steeped in the gospel. Our spiritual life, in other words, begins to flourish. Speaking to his disciples, Christ contrasts a Pharisee, the respected embodiment of the religious establishment, and a tax collector, the hated symbol of Roman colonial oppression. With the support of the Roman army, tax collectors not only gathered taxes from Jews that were used to fund their own oppression, to pay the army, etc., they also had to extract their own salary. You can imagine how that went. This was bad enough if the person was a Gentile, but a Jewish tax collector, as appears in the parable today, was a double traitor. Now, the Pharisee has confidence in his position, buttressed by the social approval he enjoys everywhere he goes. The Pharisee therefore approaches God with great assurance. And he's followed all the rules after all. He's broken no laws, religious or civil. He prays daily. He fasts twice a week. He pays the temple tax. He has paid his dues and is a model for everyone else. Except he isn't. He has fundamentally misunderstood the nature of faith. Faith is not primarily about being perfect, about making sure we follow the rules. It is primarily about relationship with others and relationship with God. And that means communication, trust building, and transparency, and all those things, all that work we have to do to build relationships. And above all, it means humility. Not only before God, but before others as well. Now, the Pharisee wanted to distinguish himself from the tax collector, but actually, they have much in common. Had the Pharisee been humble, he would have realized that he too had plenty to confess. He could have started with, "Lord, forgive me for my arrogance. You have created me with imperfections and limitations that I might learn to rely on others and to rely on you. Yet I pretend to be perfect and without need. Help me to attend less to myself and more to my fellow human beings. Right now, Lord, I am feeling superior to this tax collector who is clearly engaged with you in sincere prayer. May my prayers be equally sincere. And may I see him as my brother, even my teacher in matters of humility. May I not lose this opportunity to build relationship and to learn." The tax collector, on the other hand, aware of his humanity, he places himself trustingly in the hands of God. He trusts God enough to talk with God, to open his heart to God. He is honest with God about his weaknesses, honest with God about his heavy heart. He focuses on his own faults and is uninterested in the faults of others. The tax collector, in contrast, the Pharisee does not show God his heart, but shows God his facade, his social persona, his carefully crafted image. God sees through that, of course, but the Pharisee is too self-involved to realize this. He has either fooled himself, which is possible, or at the very least thinks that he can fool God. We find people like this today. We find people like this in churches. They've paid into the system and are confident in their own superiority. The church is not a place for the self-righteous. It's a place for those who want to relate, to work together, so that we can counterbalance one another's weaknesses. This is true humility. Humility is not about demeaning oneself. Oh Lord, I am a worthless cur. God does not desire what I call spiritual masochism, which is merely another way of drawing attention to ourselves. It's the flip side of the arrogance coin. Oh Lord, I'm so wonderful. Oh Lord, I'm so terrible. Both are about manipulating our image for attention. God simply wants an open and loving heart, not false humility. Love and humility are actually two sides of the same coin. Without one, you can't have the other. As Julian of Norwich writes, anytime we look at our Maker with love, our importance in our own eyes diminishes, and we're filled with awe and humility and love for others. It's not that we blind ourselves to the wrongdoing of others. If we did that, we couldn't truly love them in their humanity. When we acknowledge the faults of others, therefore we must do so with compassion, identifying with their struggles. As Julian of Norwich again explains, when the sins of others come to mind, the soul that wishes to be in repose shall flee from that as from the pain of hell, searching in God for remedy, for help against it. For the beholding of others' sins makes, as it were, a thick mist before the eyes of the soul, and we cannot for the time see the fairness of God. Unless we can behold another's sins with contrition with him, with compassion on him, and with holy desire to God for him. For without this, it troubles and tempts and hinders the soul that beholds those sins. We know we are on the wrong path when we are focusing on our own superiority. Once we start obsessing about the faults of others, we can no longer see God as as just and loving. We must recognize that we all share the same humanity. And if the others do the same, if someone else does the same, then a profound connection can be formed. It's a gift that they are giving us, seeing us in our humanity. But if they are like the Pharisee, on the other hand, then meaningful relationship is impossible. We can merely pray for them. God does not arbitrarily prefer humility. It's not that God's on a power trip. God knows that a closed heart and a closed mind cannot learn, cannot grow, cannot love. And this was, I would say, the very mistake of the Puritans. They wanted to establish individual and civil perfection, a shining city on a hill, and the result was a literal witch hunt. Humility and compassion are the marks of a Christian. They permit meaningful relationships with others, and that is our spiritual goal.